So that was Outer Wilds, and we're going to talk a little bit more about Outer Wilds now, but in the context of something new that we've launched. We kind of talked about it a little bit in the video there, so you kind of maybe already know what's going on. But today we're talking about our new What If series, which is basically a series of extended blog posts with some design work and thinking put into them about what we could do for games or studios out there that we love. So the idea is just to share these concepts because we think they're interesting and we think they would be cool if they existed, and we just thought it'd be a really good exercise, really like a fun thing for us to do. But they are in no way endorsed by the owners of these franchises and titles, we probably should say that. I think our hope, and this is mine, and Dan, you tell me if you disagree, our hope is this series is sort of like inspirational, so you know, the kind of thinking we're doing, maybe consider how that could apply to the games that you're making or the marketing campaigns that you're running, and how you can really take the DNA of a game and what makes it special and try and expand it into a more cohesive experience that spans social media, spans people's phones, spans websites, all those sorts of things. Dan, do you have anything to say about the What If series generally before we move on to the specifics, like about What If? Are you excited for What If?
Yeah, very much so, and yeah, I think you're absolutely right. If we can inspire or get people thinking, that makes me think of a different idea, then that's great. But also from my perspective, it's great because we obviously talk a lot about games, and we have our favourites as we were just discussing in the chat, and we have it's always great when we get to work on our client projects, which we love, but sometimes there's a game that we're not getting to work on, but we do have ideas, and it's nice to have an outlet. Just it's fun. We do love what we do, as is our mantra, and sometimes we just want to perhaps not even have to wait for the opportunity. So I guess from a team satisfaction perspective, it's like we don't need to be constrained, and let's just let our creativity out there, and if we can inspire somebody, then great. But we don't need to be constrained ourselves.
Yeah. So the one we're launching today is all about Outer Wilds, which is the game we were just playing and talking about. That's why we played you the clip, to be honest. There's a bit of synergy there, and that's what that's called in the world of marketing. And to recap, I guess, the idea is based around the ship log, which keeps track of information in the game. And we thought, why does it have to be on the ship? Wouldn't it be cool if it lived on your phone in the real world? So when you're done with the show, we'd really love for you to go and take a look at this article, read it, let us know what you think. We'll put a link in the chat for you in a minute, so you can go off and read it and check out all the design work and stuff that we've done. Dan, what do you think about this concept? I'm assuming you like it. What are your favourite things about the remote ship log pitch?
Definitely the ability. Well, but the two main things for me are having access to that kind of. So in the game, there is a lot of backstory and a lot of discovery that you do, and a lot of information that your ship log kind of amasses, and you do need to refer to it. And as we famously know, I don't have the best memory, so it would be nice to have that as a point of reference for out of the game playing experience, but also even in the game playing experience, you have to get back to your ship to reference the log, which is potentially a part of the mechanic maybe, but yeah, sometimes you're like, I've travelled here for a reason, and I've lost my ship now for whatever reason. I can't remember what it was I'm here to do, and just be able to have that point of reference would be really handy. Yeah. Basically, for senile people such as myself, I think the the referenceability of it is very, very appealing.
Really, it's for accessibility. If anything, they're bad people if they don't do it. I'm joking. That's not what I actually mean. One last thing I wanted to talk about with the Outer Wilds one specifically, just because it's my favourite thing about it. Obviously, the page we put together for this, I've put a link in the chat now, so you can go check it out at your leisure. We put in loads of really cool Easter eggs that are kind of inspired by the game. There's at least 5, maybe more, I think, Easter eggs in there. So if you're an Outer Wilds fan, you want to check this out and try and find them, I think it's really cool. As an Outer Wilds fan, I think this site is cool. There's lots of things that it does that really remind me of moments or bits of the game that I think are fun. The only clue I'll give you is that for one of them, you're going to need to wait around on the page for 22 minutes. So if you
people are going to think you're trying to game our dwell time or something here.
Yeah, you wait 22 minutes and nothing happens. A banner comes up and says, "Thanks for the Google Analytics time, sucker." Now I've hit my KPIs. No, it's not that, but you'll have to try it to find out, won't you? If you want to spare half an hour, give it a go. We'll be doing more what ifs in the future, of course. So what can people kind of expect in the coming months, do you reckon, Dan? What do you think we're going to see from this series?
Yeah, I mean, certainly the lack of constraint is an appealing part of it. So, yeah, I think we'll be doing varying ideas of ambition, shall we say? Some of it will be realistic, some of it will be maybe completely unrealistic, which is the beauty you get with this kind of thing. We don't need to worry about things like budgets and timelines and availability. We can come up with all sorts of crazy ideas. So yeah, definitely going to be pushing our creative boundaries. And we've obviously got a lot of favourite games as well, don't we? So expect some familiar and maybe less popular titles to be considered.
I never worry about budget anyway.
That's my problem, isn't it?
Yeah, so I'm working on one with somebody else in the team now, and I don't want to spoil what it is or give it away. But what I will say is that the one we're working on is potentially going to be really stylish. I think visually, the next one or the one after, whenever it ends up coming out, could be quite a sight. Could be a really cool website to check out. So I'm excited to see more. And I think the one
from your perspective, Adam, what you've obviously been heavily involved in the Outer Wilds one. What do you enjoy about this?
I told you about the Easter eggs, right? No, I think there's a certain creativity, and I think creativity is a really intrinsic part of what we do in a way that a lot of people maybe don't realise. You know, you think about somebody who's going to make you a website or make you some social ads or a marketing campaign, and there are aspects of that maybe that you think are creative, but I think as a whole it's quite a creative endeavour. So there's something quite fun about exercising that creative muscle, I guess, and getting to play around with things that are maybe a little bit outside the realms of possibility, but also just really helps you to, you know, stay on that kind of creative groove that you get into when you're working sometimes and have the inspiration to do things. And who knows what will happen with this one. You know, we don't know if, you know, Mobius might just say, can you take that off the internet, please? You don't know us, which is fine. We'll do that. If you're watching Mobius, just let me know. But they might also be into it. They might say, hey, that's a really good idea. Let's talk about doing something like that for our next game, or even for this game. Or other studios out there might be like, well, actually, my game has a similar concept, and I think something like that could be really good for us. And, you know, whether they do that with us or not, I think the important thing is that sharing of creativity. It's the idea of, like, you know, the ideas can be cool, ideas can be fun, let's share them. You know, it doesn't have to be a secretive thing, it doesn't have to be something that we just doodle on a napkin and then throw away or keep to ourselves forever waiting for the right opportunity. I think we're more open than that. So yeah, it's been a fun thing to put together, and yeah, I got to be heavily involved in this one as well, and hopefully be involved in a few more before we're done.